So we're going to talk a little bit about TRE, tension and trauma release exercises.
Cool.
And you've come for a number of sessions with me while I'm here on beautiful Koh Phangan in our natural settings. And I'm curious to know how you found out about TRE. How did you hear about it?
So actually the first time I've heard about TRE was from you.
Mm-hmm.
We met in some random night in a bonfire with really nice people and atmosphere, and we started talking. And then you mentioned this is what you do. And I found it very, very interesting, especially how you spoke about it. That really attracted me.
Okay.
Because, you know, I'm from Israel, and I came here right away after I lived in a war zone. And like we spoke, I don't remember if we spoke about Israel before you mentioned the TRE, or like it was I'm not really remember
either.
But it was like really interesting conversation, and I felt so much emotions when I spoke about Israel and about my experience and how I reacted. And I know a bit about traumas, and I know how it affects our body and therefore our minds and etc. and our behavior in general. So yeah, I was really curious about it.
Was there something in particular in my descriptions as I was talking about it that you thought that felt like this would be something that you would try?
So I must be very honest and say that I didn't really understand what you're talking about. Like, what is it? What are we actually doing? And even in our first session, I wasn't really sure what is happening. But I really, really, really liked the fact that you were very gentle around this idea. Like, you spoke a lot about how to respect our system,
Yes.
and how not to push it, and it's something that is very, very present in your sessions too. And it just felt good when you said all of this stuff, because I have a lot of honor to my body, and like also with that a lot of fear that I won't push it too hard. So when you spoke about that this way, so I was curious. It's like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's like I always find it a struggle to explain it, because it can sound so complex, but it is more of a lived experience. Would you agree with that? It's something that you have to, once you feel it in your body, then it makes everything kind of comes together. The descriptions, they make sense. Is that something you would agree with?
Yeah.
How did you find your first session? You said a little bit about the being gentle, being kind, not pushing, and respecting. Were there any specific points or moments that you could recall from your first session when you came?
So I think that we spoke about it before, and like you put so much respect to each one's boundaries and like its own way. So it's something that I really allowed myself during the session too. And I remember that after, like, we did the 7 exercises, And then we went into the tremors. I didn't really understand that this is like, you know, the time of the tremors. And what is going to happen, etc. But I remember me, I was, now when I'm thinking about it, my system started to react, and when we got into the point that we needed to lay on the ground, and you told us to sit in a certain way, and it didn't feel for me comfortable at all. I also was with shorts, and I didn't feel comfortable to sit that way. So I just I said, okay, I'll just skip it. And this is what I did. I just didn't do it.
That's why we, I always say it's up to each individual. We will there are modified ways of modifying the exercises to create that sense of safety, because really that's all it is. It's if you feel safe and comfortable within your body, the tremors will naturally come. So if there's anything, like some places may give you, this is the exercise and you must do it this way. Well, if part of you is triggered, activated, or just doesn't feel comfortable with it, then it's counterproductive to push yourself through it. So we always try and modify, always try and give you a way into fatiguing the muscles to activate the tremors, and that hopefully, again, it's just being kind to yourself, making friends with your system. Is a key point. So after you did your first session, then why did you continue? What came out from that first one that went, come and keep doing this?
I think that's a better question for the second session, but I will answer you.
Okay.
So, as I said to you, I don't remember if I said it now, but after the first session, I didn't really understand what happened. What did we do? What was it about? I didn't tremor. I skipped the exercise itself. And I didn't really understand what is it about, but still how the way you spoke about it, that's what attracted me from the first place. And with that, I just remember it was a night before the second session or something. And I just randomly saw that someone posted about TRE, and I never heard about it before you. And then just before the second session, I saw that someone posted about it. So I said, okay, I'll go and I'll give it another try. And I was very lucky because no one came to this session, just me.
Got a one-to-one.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was really meaningful for me because I had the opportunity to ask questions, and you were very focused on me, on my and it made me understand better what is happening and how does it work. And then I remember that I was so excited. I was like, wow, it's so cool. What is this? Okay, so now that happens and that. And it's like, wow. So that was the main point that I was like, okay, yeah.
So one-to-ones are important.
Yes.
Again, they get tailor-made, so it's great to hear that.
Right.
For you, because we can just focus on the one organism, See, and that because when you do the sessions with just with another provider, then they are helping you to learn about your own system's responses.
Yeah.
So it can be very specific. In a group setting, it's a little more generalized. Something happens with one person, then it might not happen with another, and so on and so forth. So
Right.
Yeah.
So I think like at the beginning, it's something very, I think like it's important to experience it, and I must say that in the other like the last session that I came, I came after like a really like I was so confused and felt like disassociation. I don't know.
Disassociated.
Yes, thank you. And I remember myself like driving my motorbike and say, oh, I wish today it will be a one-on-one. I don't know, like I wish. And then I came and like it was the fullest.
Yes.
The fullest. I was like, okay, interesting. And it was very strong for me too.
Yeah.
Very strong. So I think it's not like either that or that. I think both of them have the impact.
Yes.
And
Yeah, groups. We saw that when you have a lot of people.
yeah.
It's also powerful in a different way.
Right.
When bodies, because in a way, sorry, I cut you off there, didn't I?
No, it's okay.
In your story, what my observation of it is that when it's a sign that everybody is safe, and then everybody is healing themselves.
Yeah.
They're releasing and shaking, tremoring, grounding, all at the same time. So it's a collective, then. It's a collective process.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It really was.
I'm curious then how you, what you noticed change in you as you went through each of the sessions.
Inside the sessions or outside the sessions?
Either.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you did the first one, the second one, and then you came to several more.
Right.
I'm wondering, because did they all feel the same? Did they all feel different? Were there changes in your system? What changed?
I'll say that I'll start with the outside of the sessions.
Mm-hmm.
That what the sessions brought me to my daily life is like to check with myself, the level of grounding, and like to be aware of like where I am standing now, and like a very useful, easy tools to ground myself. So yes, and I use it. Like I find myself like, yeah, and like you said, just see how you react to each. Like you gave us a few options and told us, be aware of how it affects your system. If it's helpful, use it. And this is what I'm doing. I'm
Great.
using it.
Great,
I'm really
great.
using it. So that is like really, really important change. And in the sessions themselves, the last one was the one that I wanted us to be alone, and it ended up like so many people. I tremored as wow.
The best.
The best. Yes. At the beginning, I remember that in my first session, I tremored only in one leg, and then a little bit in the second.
Yeah.
After you explained me,
Yes,
and like I felt more comfortable and etc.
Oh yes, the locations of the tremors. That's worth.
Right.
That's not on my question list. That's a
Yeah.
good thing to say. Yeah.
And in the last session that I experienced, pretty strong ones, and also like it moved in a different way, and like it was really, really strong in both legs, and I have even felt it in my belly. It didn't happen before.
Yeah.
And as long as I kept asking myself, like, what do I notice? What do I notice? And not waiting to you ask me,
Yeah.
I felt much more comfortable with it. And like, I was like very smiley while I was tremoring. I was like, yeah. And looking on the other people, like, cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, I noticed. I noticed. There's a nice, that's the process you're going into, self-regulation,
Yeah.
where you can do for yourself and look around and Just notice. You know, not oh my God, who's around here? Not that state. It's a relaxed one. You can talk with me and just go, oh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, while your body is shaking and moving, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of I won't say the goal, but it's a really great indicator for the tremors within the session. And then outside, it's great to hear that you're using the grounding techniques, noticing things, because that's also such an important part.
Yeah.
You know, grounding and tremoring, grounding and tremoring, grounding and tremoring, and interrupting patterns. When we notice something is coming, this is going to be stressful for me, or this is now stressful, then you can do something just to help take the edge off.
Right.
It may not be, it may not eliminate the stress, because stress is good. You know, the body needs to be using all of its capacities. However, just functionally enough, you know, is a key thing.
Yeah.
Great. How do you? What would you say? I think you've talked about the benefits, but let's ask: how do you feel after each session, and what have you found to be the benefits for you within your mental health, physical, emotional, things like that?
I think I need water. How did I feel after each session?
Yeah, after the session. So, for example, you came to, you said the last one you came to, you were kind of disassociated and stressed, and you just finished your assignments, and then had the session, a big group session.
Right.
And then afterwards, how was it for you?
So right after I felt very, grounded and focused and very peaceful. I will lie if I'll say that it's like changed my day completely, because I came like with I assume. Thank you.
It's okay.
Because I came with a lot. So it was like moving from grounding and like feel very peaceful to other emotions too, but I was able to notice it and accept it. Yeah.
Would you say that's a common theme for at the end of each session that you've had? Just feeling more grounded, feeling more peaceful.
So in the first session I wasn't really grounded. I really didn't understand what is happening to me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And yes, afterward, in the other sessions, yes, I think that in most of them I was going out like pretty grounded. In different days it stayed different, in a different way, and
different ways, different days.
Exactly.
It always is. Here we are now, here today. This is what it looks like. This is how it goes. Yeah. But over time, it becomes more and more available. For sure. Okay. Then, if there are people that are thinking about trying a session, what advice would you give to them? Don't judge it on the first one. Don't do just one.
Don't. And I would say keep your mind open, because it's not something usual. Like I never heard about it. So keep your mind open, and also ask questions.
Yes.
Ask questions, like if you need to understand what is happening. For me, it was really helpful to ask a lot of questions and understand, like to quiet my mind a bit.
Yes.
That he will understand, it will understand. Just to have a better idea of what is it and how does it, and just ask a lot of questions.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Talk to me first. perhaps as well.
Yes.
Like we did have a conversation
Right.
before.
Right.
That clearly helped.
Of course.
And then come, try one, try a second one, try one-on-one, try as a group, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
So last question then, who would it be good for in your mind?
Oh.
Given the benefits you've talked about, who might benefit from this? Who would it be?
So I must say that at the beginning I thought, people with trauma and of course like Israeli, you must go, we must do it together. Let's see, like to release from our body all of this stress and all of this trauma.
Yeah.
Or like just and even not completely make it disappear, but to have the chance to release some and be aware of it. Like it's really important. But as long this and as long as I experienced sessions with you and I saw like different people, I saw like it's really common thing to be, like all of us, like we're all human beings.
Yeah.
We're all like sometimes not very focused or understand what is happening to us, or there are a lot of emotions and reacts of flights and freeze and etc. So I think everyone should be more connected to their own system. So I think it's really can be for everyone.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good.
Everyone can benefit from a little reconnection.
Right. Yes.
What it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Reconnection.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully that recorded.
Hopefully.
And I'll get you some water.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Pop it on.
Mommy.
No. Now we have to do it again in Hebrew.
Thank you. How are we gonna do it in Hebrew?
No idea. I can just run through those same questions.
Okay.
I can try.